Good afternoon everybody, welcome to ARL TV for a double header of racing fun we've got here today. We're at Interlagos for the GrandAM first up, followed by Sebring with the FW31 in the Grand Prix series. I'm joined in the commentary box for this one with my usual co-commentator, Mr. Andrew Woodhouse. Hello my friend.
Hello, good afternoon.
Are you in the session?
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Manic rush.
It's a bit of a rush on these official sessions to get in, but sure, not too far away. We've got GrandAM action. I'm really excited to be here. I don't normally commentate on a Sunday anymore. Bit out of my comfort zone, but how are you today, Alice?
Yeah, no, good. You know, enjoying the Sunday. Got a good couple of races up ahead, so keeping an eye out on a few of the AR UK drivers that are in here. Giving them a shout out, Dean Prescott and Conrad Venter.
For those who don't have any idea of what the GrandAM's all about, it's mixed class action. Got the Riley Daytona prototype and also the McLaren MP412C. So those cars are going to be in action today. We've got quite a big grid as well. 29 cars are going to take the start, so be prepared for some action. Alex, are you ready with the cameras? Have you got your fingers loose? Because you're going to need them, I think, in the first few laps.
Yeah, we're ready, just.
It's actually time. It's actually time to take to the grid, I believe.
Yeah, can you just give us a quick rundown of the while the guys are on the grid of the qualifying positions?
Yeah, I can. I'll do the top 5 for each class. So in the Daytona prototype class, we got Shi Win with 126.3, and then Mika Lurkey second, Nick Ritzi in third, Conrad Venter of AR UK fourth, a good qualifying for him, Derek Downing in fifth, and Dean Prescott starts in sixth for AR UK as well. And in the McLaren class, Johan Lespinas is on pole position for them, Antti Piala in second, Stanimir Zuzov third, Stefano Urbani in fourth, and Andy Pers in fifth. So what can we expect here, Alex? We've got a rolling start, I believe, as well.
Yeah, rolling start. Interesting to see him start sort of halfway around the track rather than doing a whole lap.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who can get the best start. Where are they starting? That's up near the hairpin, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah, just before the right-hander.
Oh, it's Ferradura, isn't it? Up at Ferradura. So top of the hill, short pace lap.
Yeah, hopefully the guys will split apart so we can keep an eye on both of the starts, but we'll have to see.
It's a 50-minute race today, so hopefully, so that these guys, well, they're going to have to keep their concentration up.
Interesting to see the new Season 2 UK cars there. You can't miss them, bright pink and orange. Conrad and Dean.
So it's going to be Shi Win to take us around the final corner, and then when the pace car pulls in, we're going to have some racing here at Interlagos. 50-minute race, and well, we don't really know what to expect here. Not usual GrandAM viewers, especially not me, but so we'll get some great action. So we'll wait for the pace car to pull in. Win's going to back the pack up.
Yeah, at some point we're going to get all the team names for you guys as well, just so you can enjoy it. Hopefully it's going to be a bit of a regular event.
Looks like there's there's a bit of a stagger. It looks like the McLarens have just pulled back a tiny bit for their own start, which is usual.
It's always wise doing. They don't want to get involved in anything that might go on at turn 1 here. As the pace car ducks in, green flag's out, and we're racing.
Yeah, they don't want to get involved with any possibly of the slower Cadillac drivers, DP drivers. Sorry, too much time spent in the iRacing Global Challenge for me. As Shi Win
seems like a good start from all the Rileys there, nice and clean. Let's have a look at the McLarens. They're away as well.
Somebody's in the pit wall, Alex. Somebody was in the pit wall at the. I think it was Urbani. Got pushed into the tyre wall. I don't know if you can get a replay of that. In fact, there was contact off the rolling start And Urbani ended up coming down the track, and he was hit again, and he wasn't the pit wall, but he did a barrel roll in the pit lane entry. So Urbani's out, or at least in the pits, towing that McLaren.
So let's see if we can get.
So meanwhile, it's still Win leading from Lurky.
Carnage at the back there. Actually, we're just seeing it now on replay.
Yeah, it was a big contact, and Urbani ended up doing a barrel roll in the pit lane entry.
They're not even green there. I don't really know what that's all about.
I think some people were a bit eager to go, weren't they? I think maybe when the green flag went for the Rileys, possibly some people just went in the McLaren class. Maybe you didn't realise what was going on. I don't know. Gene Nguyen though, with a good first lap and a lead of about a second over Lurky, and there's some expletives from some of the DP drivers at the back.
Yeah, fortunately we
can't hear those on the broadcast.
I was about to say, fortunately we got those muted, so it's all good.
A couple of the DPs are in amongst the McLarens, and this is where it can get a little bit interesting. Terry Stockham and Mike Veronese been mired down in the back of this field. It looks like actually, Alex, that these cars are quite even in straight line speed, which might be a problem for the Rileys when lapping the traffic.
Yeah, I think they'll be all right down the main streets, but from the little short squirts between the hairpins and things like that, it's not going to be just a straightforward overtake.
Wind goes very wide at Magulho, trying to get the best possible exit. You know how important that is. And Dean Prescott 5th, Conrad Venter 6th. And they crossed the line last time, actually, just separated by 2/100ths of a second. So
yeah, I think the Apex UK drivers were doing the old switcheroo as they were coming through. Dean working his way through the field.
I don't think I've seen Dean race for a long time, so a treat here. And he's putting Nick Ritchie under pressure, so I wonder if he can get up there. He didn't set a qualifying time, Prescott. Venter did, and it's good to see that those boys have got through cleanly. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, and we've got a McLaren in the background in the tyre wall. I'm not sure who that was, but I know we're just looking at Baker. He's just moved up into 6th place with that.
Was it? No, I don't know who that was who's in the tyres. It's a problem with so many cars, it's hard to really see. So in the pits at the moment then, and looking like their race could be over, I think it was Pablo Martin is in the pits, in the Riley, then Antti Piala, that might be who it was. Urbani's in, Panulas is in, Andy Pers is in, Bernier's in as well, so it might be, I don't know, it's just going to take a while to look back and find out.
Yeah, it's a long old race, we've still got plenty of time to go, and expect there'll be a fair few changes around. I'm guessing Dean's made his way up to 3rd, yeah, he has, Dean Prescott.
He's flying as well, Prescott. He was quite a way behind Ritchie on the previous lap at the start-finish line, so he's definitely on the move, and Venter looks like he's catching Ritchie as well.
Yeah, perhaps Ritchie's going for a bit of a longer, more conservative stint on the tyres.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, I haven't spent too much time around this series. Alex, do you know sort of what strategy these guys are going to be going for today?
No, I'm afraid we're just winging it as we go.
Probably going to be one stop though?
Completely unprepared, I would say we are. No, I think it's all about learning on the job. I know some of the time they do longer races which require a one stop, but some they can make it, so I haven't spoke with the lads really before the race, so let's see what we can figure out what's going to go on.
Indeed. Good to see Prescott and Venter up there in the top 5. This is the split race, of course. Prescott's last lap 1:28.3, so that's about 6 tenths slower than Win, so not too bad at all. He's looking good up there, is the leader though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pulling away quite sort of steadily. I mean, what was he last time by?
27.7.
Yeah,
so
about half a
4
second,
tenths.
yeah. So
The two leaders are the number 1 and 2 I-rated drivers in the split. Dean Prescott's the next best rated Riley driver. 5th with the R rating there. Let's have a look into the McLaren class. I don't know what you're focusing on at the moment.
he was just having a quick look at Dean. Actually, he was fastest man on the circuit that last time by.
Yeah, he was. He was 4 tenths quicker than the leader that time. So closing up on Lurky then. At the front of the McLaren class, Johan Lespinas is clearing off from Stanimir Zuzov. Well, he's a 10th quicker on that lap. Zuzov started 3rd, Lespinas started on pole position. The man who started 2nd, Antti Piala, has come to grief already and has been in the pit lane. He's 1 lap down.
Yeah, so far looking like we've got
it's the leaders.
3 drivers out at the moment. So early,
Yes.
there's a few that have had multiple stops as well, just trying to get their car repaired, I think. So yeah, I'm not sure that's going to happen. I think we're going to see about 5 or 6 drop out pretty quickly.
Looks like Gwyn nearly hit one of the McLarens there as he came through to lap him. Tough circuit to pass traffic on, I think, this one. The traffic, you've got to rely on the McLarens to let you through, essentially, because of the straight line speed being so similar. The only real advantage that the McLarens have got, Alex, is in the high speed corners where they've got much greater amount of downforce.
Yeah, exactly that. Just having a quick look at Eggleston there, just getting very squirrely under braking into the centre S. Looks like he's trying to put the pressure on. That's Downing ahead of him.
Yep, and these guys are about 5 seconds behind Conrad Venter, so the top 5 have definitely broken away. 6 seconds separates them after 6 laps. And it looks like actually Lurky has gained a little bit of time back on Gwyn now, so. And Prescott is in 3rd. He's not catching as much as he was. In fact, the last time round, just a fraction faster than Lurky.
Just noticed that the overlay is having a hard time figuring out that it's a timed race, so we're showing us a 100-lap race, which it's obviously not. It's a timed one, so my co-colleague will have to keep us updated with where we're at in regards to the time.
It is down as 50 minutes, 100 laps on my screen, so it is technically 100 laps as the limit, but no way in hell that that's going to come to pass. Trying to see if there's any battles going on really down the field. There's one for 16th place, which is John Baker and Jean-Pascal Marot.
Oh, one of the McLarens trying to let through a couple of the Rileys there, just getting himself a bit wide onto the grass in turn 1. Spins himself out.
It's so easy to do. It really is so easy to do. It's just a problem. I must admit, I'm enjoying this race a lot. It's quite difficult to keep abreast of who's doing what, but I'm sure we'll get there. The pace of the leaders in the McLaren class, Alex, is extremely good. The leading McLaren's only 14 seconds behind the 11th placed Riley driver, as one of the Rileys actually goes off to let the leader through. That was Terry Stockham, taking a rather agricultural line through the middle sector, and now he's got to let Lurky and Prescott through as well.
Yeah, Terry's had a couple of stops already, so he must have picked up some damage off camera that we haven't seen. So
he was one of the guys who got caught back in the pack with the McLarens at the beginning, so but now his job is to follow the leaders as closely as he can and hopefully try to pick the McLarens off when they go through, so it could help his race quite a lot. That not a disaster at all.
Eggleston still having a look. Maybe he's going to go for a move down to turn one just as we jump off.
Into the centre S's side by side through the first part. Oh, there's contact, and it looked. Oh, and I think that's just unfortunate. It's just a racing incident. I think Downing got very sideways coming out of turn one, which, as you know, that's so easy to do. Getting on the power a little bit early and just clipped the rear quarter panel.
Just looks like he's got a little bit of rear wing damage there. Nothing major, shouldn't affect him too much. We'll have to keep an eye on him through the rest of the race. See what he does lap time wise, but
it's a shame that was a good battle. As there's a lot of back chat on the radio, people not happy with moves going down the field. Always the case in mixed class racing though, Alex, isn't it? There's always, the problem is there's always faster and slower cars, isn't there? And sometimes that can be quite problematic.
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, mixed class is great because it doesn't get boring. That's the one good thing. There's always something going on, and but with everything going on, you've got to have your wits about you. Someone's always going to be coming up behind you or in front of you or something like that. So, you know, it's just as much responsibility of all the drivers to get through cleanly and things like that. So,
yeah, and it's as you said later on in the race, when you get a bit lonely, it's not necessarily a time to not focus. As Prescott looks like he's looking for a move on Lurkey. Dean Prescott on the move for Apex Racing UK. Very happy to see that. It's like Lurkey's rear end sliding around a little bit. Prescott looks like he's planted, the car's a bit more planted for him, which will mean he's not working the tyres quite as much as one of the McLarens. Just gets that clean out of the way.
yeah, we'll just jump on board with Dean here.
The McLaren class actually, Alex, has been spread out a long way after that collision on the first corner. Well, before the start line actually, before the race started. So a lot of the McLarens, there are still 3 McLarens on the lead lap. There are 6 a lap down, 4 2 laps down, and then 5, 6 and 7. So if you like, take us around for a lap.
Again, just coming down the main straight now into the centre S, slowly down through the gearbox. Might be a bit like the V8 supercar really, where you short shift just to keep the power in the right range for the car. Looks like Dean just not able to get too much of a slipstream, so maybe run a little bit more downforce on this car. But through the centre S, down the back straight, braking hard. Oh, kicks the back end out, has to catch that on the entry. Gets a good exit out of it though. Might think about having a little look here. Not really an overtaking position. This uphill long right hander. A bit later on the brakes. Runs a bit deep. He's going to have a good exit out. Indeed he does. Has a look down into the hairpin. Thought about it.
That was a very scary moment. Even watching on board, it looked like he was going to end in disaster.
He's definitely got this performance. He's up the inside this time.
Pinarino. Yeah, and he's through.
Yeah, it gives him plenty of room though, I think.
I think he's through.
I think he's still side by side, are they not?
Into Yonkao.
Yeah, he's through now.
Good move by Prescott. Not easy to do in that middle sector either.
But a great track, Interlagos.
Sorry about that, interrupting your lap there.
Nah, that's alright. There's more action.
Oh, as Lurkey's looking to have a go back. Prescott needs to cover the inside line. Into the centre S's as Lurkey goes for the inside. Now can he get it stopped? And he can. So back up into second place. Prescott maybe should have defended that a little bit more forcefully.
Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier on.
He worked so hard to get the place.
I think Prescott's running perhaps a little bit more downforce on that car, which is why he was pretty easy pickings on the straight. He's having a look again now.
Into turn 4.
He's got the speed in the infield section, so Lurkey wide. Pressure's done what it needed to.
That'll do it for Dino.
Yeah, I have to say, with the sort of speed that he's got in the infield section now, he should be able to build up enough of a gap to get that covered off.
Yeah, I was just a little bit surprised how easily he conceded the position. I mean, he worked so hard to get it, and with such a tough move. But maybe sometimes you lose focus, possibly after an overtake. I don't know. But he showed great calm, great instincts there to know that Lurky was going to be trying very hard into turn 4, and he tried too hard and he went wide. Excellent job. But all this has given Wynne a 6-second lead.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for either of these guys to close the gap. I mean,
31 minutes to go.
It looks very, very quick up there. Let's have a look the next time by when Dean's in clean air, and we'll have a look, see if we can have anything.
He's already getting a second on Lurky after that slight mistake.
We've got this battle still with Venter and Nick still going on.
Yeah, his back end is sliding through turn 3. That's not what you want, really. High speed corner. Venter's looking. The South African driver. Been in ARL a long time now, hasn't he?
Yeah, all sorts of different leagues that have been run from. From the F1.
Did he do a bit of the World Touring Cars even?
I think he did, yeah, as well. So Race 07, obviously iRacing. So yeah, nice to be able to cover him and see how he's doing in the official series.
Doing a very good job as well. I raced with him briefly in in the league I was in last season in the F1. So I can't remember what it was, F4, F3, whichever one it was. Raced with him briefly, and a good guy. Got a bit disillusioned with that, but he's obviously found something to his liking here in the GrandAM series. Wish him well for the season. And can he get the slipstream down this main straight, which isn't a straight really at all, is it? But definitely looking some great in-car footage you can get on iRacing as well.
We said we'd keep an eye on Dean, what he did this lap when he was free. He was a 10th quicker than the leader, so maybe he's got a chance to put a little bit of a charge on. Just 6.8 seconds is quite a gap for only 10th of a second a lap, but we've got quite a way to go.
I'm just on board with Conrad at the minute, and Ritzy's car is just sliding all over the place through 2 and 3. Venter looks much more controlled, and I think it's only a matter of time before that driving style will benefit him with the tyres and not working too hard, the rear tyres. It's important here at Interlagos. Get the traction out the slow corners, as you well know. What makes this track so great, Alex? You're a good exponent of this circuit. What do you like about it?
I think it tests a driver. You know, there's everything you've got. You've got the high speed corners. You've got the wide open entries that tighten up, and the hairpins, and double apex corners. There's everything you really need in a circuit. Yeah, it's such a short circuit as well, which is what makes the racing quite close. I can't think of any race that I've been in where I haven't been sort of battling someone here, there and everywhere.
Yeah, it definitely lends itself to that kind of action. Terrific. Great circuit. It's one of the classic tracks of Formula 1. Been in the calendar in both its current form and before, when it was almost twice the length, as Ritzy goes very wide at turn 3, but he's not punished by that as the AstroTurf comes to his rescue. Oh, Venter getting very deep on the brakes. Just got a wheel on the grass, and that's just compromised him a little bit. So he tries to lap one of the McLarens, Andy Pers, who lets him through nicely.
Yeah, cost Conrad a bit of time there.
Just give a good shout out to Johan Lespinas, who's leading the McLaren class, and Stanimir Zuzov as well, both still on the lead lap, so good performance from them, definitely. At this point, the thing is, in mixed class racing, Alex, no matter how fast you go, then you know that there's going to be a point when you're going to get lapped by the other leaders of the other class. and you're almost trying to get your good laps in before you get to that moment, because you know that time's coming.
That's the thing. Once once you get to that point, and it's so much harder, like you say, to get the good laps in and things like that. And I think that's the real key of mixed class racing, is being able to lap consistently quick, even when people are sort of coming up the inside and things like that of you.
Yeah, I know it does sort of happen in the other way around as well for the faster class. They'll know that they've got time to get their good laps in before they catch the traffic, and in a way it's possibly more disruptive for these Riley drivers to have to pass the McLarens than it is the other way around. So
actually the one good thing with this series is that because they are relatively sort of even as far as as the leader of the McLaren class gets a little bit sideways.
He's
about
there to go a lap down. Maybe another couple of laps before he goes a lap down. Zuzov has gone a lap down. So Lespinasse has a 10-second lead. Sorry, Alex, you were saying?
Yeah, no, I lost it now, totally.
Yeah, but car's been relatively similar speed, I think you were going to say.
Yeah, so unlike we used to have, or we have, with the HPD and the Ford GT40 and things like that, where you'd be lapping them within a matter of like just a couple of laps. At least this time it takes sort of 10, 12 laps to get in and amongst the cars, and you just get a little bit longer to enjoy a little bit of space. But then once you hit that
as well, with this race as well, there was a big crash with the McLarens at the start, wasn't there? So that's put a lot more lap traffic in front of the way of the leaders. Team Prescott's pace has dropped off a little bit, Alex. Now he's past Lurky. He's now 8.2 seconds behind Gwyn, so as some of the traffic, some of the lap traffic having a terrible time of trying to get out of the way. It's almost as if they're constantly being lapped now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's not traffic that's caused that, because Lurky's right up on the tail of Dean again.
People shouting in the I've just heard in the one of the Riley drivers. Oh, Charles Ebenair has come to grief, Alex. I don't know if you can get a replay, but there was a collision with one of the McLaren drivers.
Let's have a look at that back, see what we can see.
Who's 5 laps down. Ebenair on the lead lap in 11th, coming round the infield section. Oh, and he just, well, nothing Bernier could do, nothing Ebenair could do really. Bernier tried to go very tight on the inside corner. Just clipped him as he went past, not intentional by any means. Ebenair spins out.
Yeah, and then on a complete reverse side, he pulls straight back out into the middle of the traffic, so...
And the same guy hits him, unfortunately. So a bit of a disaster there, and not great driving displayed. Coming back onto the track at least, as after 16 laps, the leader of the McLaren class has been enveloped by the leader of the Riley class. She wins, so... excellent job in the McLaren, very quick, and he looks very solid. Should we go for a lap with him?
Yeah, let's jump on board.
See what he's doing. See what he's doing in terms of the steering inputs. Alex, you've driven this car a little bit more than I have, I think. It's very nice to drive, isn't it? It was one of the first cars it was the first car actually to put the new steering model in place, wasn't it?
Yeah, the new steering rack. It's a great little car actually. Don't drive it enough, but that's only just because I'm spend all my time in the Williams. But no, this is one car that I don't actually mind jumping into and over. Similar sort of gearbox and steering models, all sort of the same. And
if you take us around this lap with Johan.
Yeah, so as he's just going through the centre rest at the moment, got a couple of cars fighting there, very slow on the inside, he's going to have to go around the outside.
In his own class as well. So.
Yeah, has a little check, uses all the curb on the outside. I have to say, lovely sounding car, this McLaren. braking quite early. It's a very deceiving corner, this one, and he's just gone a little bit wide in there. Avoids the off-track penalty that he will get by touching the AstroTurf there, but you've got to get braked quite early and get it turned in early, and then you can sort of power through it. Through this double apex right-hander, kisses the first one, just misses the second one, but gets a good exit. Uses all the curb for this right-hander, switches down, left-hander, get the camber, get the inside wheels running on that curb. It helps pull the car around. Accelerate up through the hill. Not able to take his preferred line with the lap traffic in front of him, who gets very, very squirrely. He wants him out of the way. It's not going to give. He's going to have to wait until the straights. Don't do anything.
I think that might be the thought process of the back marker, but that's a weird line through Young Cow. And now there's more traffic too. Oh dear.
He's going to have to go through the. He's going to have to go through the middle. We'll stay on board.
Oh, there's a Riley in the way, and there's contact. Oh, and that's the car that spun in front of Ebony. So I think he's checking the steering to make sure everything's all right.
Yeah, I think he's
okay. That was Prescott, wasn't it?
It was Prescott.
And Lurkey, as he takes Bernier. Who's the McLaren driver? It's Urbani. So Urbani was taken out in that first, well, before the green flag, getting very feisty with the leader. I'm not sure that's really needed when he's 8 laps down. I think you've really got to drive smarter than that. Because you saw there, Alex, he just didn't know where to go, did he, Johan?
And he's still weaving the car around as well. I'm not sure
if he's got a bit of suspension.
Yeah, I'm not sure he got away with that scot-free. I think he might have a little bit of damage there. Perhaps just affected his toe in there, so he's tracking a bit or something like that.
Yeah, maybe he's just checking just to make sure everything's okay, but not what you want, is it, when you're leading the race by over 10 seconds?
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on his lap times as well, just see if there's any sort of drop-off.
Yeah, I'll just have a look and see what he's been doing so far. He's dropped into the 34s. So he was sort of doing mid-34s before that, so we'll see what he does this time round. Urbani's obviously no slouch, as he qualified 4th in the class, but he's really just going to have to let him through, because otherwise it's just, yeah, there he goes, lets him through. So we'll see what Johan does this time by. Looks okay, I mean the car looks okay. Not that badly damaged.
Yeah, there's Venter around the outside.
34.8, so he's back into the similar region that he was in before. So Wynn leads by 10.7 seconds now, and he must be really working the traffic well, because the lead's just growing over Prescott now.
Yeah, last time by it was over a second difference, so
Prescott still hasn't shaken the fin. Lurkey behind him. Finn with the first name Mika. It's going to be fast. Venter still hasn't passed Ritzy. He's now actually 2.5 seconds behind him, so obviously doing a good job is Nick Ritzy.
Yeah, it looks like the traffic has really played effect to Conrad as well. We know Conrad well, and he's not one to try and rush through the traffic, so it can usually end up being a benefit towards the end of the race. He'll be fighting strong. We've already seen a couple of incidents, so
yeah, we've only actually lost 3 cars, I believe, so far, or maybe 4 now. So the guy's still pushing on, still trying to get to the end of the race. It's a long race. There's a lot of safety rating to be gained as well. These cars lapping this track fairly quickly, 127. Only about 15 seconds slower than F1 pace.
yeah, the brain was working there, just trying to work it out, trying to remember what I got
About
for
10
qualifying.
seconds slower than F1 race pace in real life as well. So this guy's doing well with a sizable amount of fuel on board and slightly worn tyres. In fact, Gwyn did his fastest lap of the race on that last lap, Alex, so his tyres are obviously in good shape.
Yeah, I would say it's fair to say that we're not stopping here today, we're just going all the way through.
Doesn't look like it. It's still, I mean, yeah, nobody's really been in, have they? So I wonder if they're going to need to save any fuel towards the end. I mean, these cars are built for 24-hour racing. Prototypes built for the Daytona 24 hours mostly. So they are used to having long stints. As Gwyn comes up to another McLaren.
Yeah, and as we know, the tyre model now, that can go all year. So we haven't got to worry about that.
No, indeed, and we've seen that the tyre model's a lot more. It's a lot kinder, isn't it, since they've rebuilt it. Unless you're in a front-wheel drive car like me, of course. But so, Gwyn leads, Prescott second, Lurkey third, Ritzy fourth, Venter fifth. Then you've got Alex Winston, who we haven't really seen, in sixth. Then Juan Santiago in seventh. Derek Downing, who was having a great battle earlier on, is in 8th place. Kevin Ford 9th. Mark Eggleston 10th. It was Eggleston who he was having the battle with, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think it was.
So now Downing's only 2 seconds ahead of Kevin Ford. Downing from Great Britain. And, well, the UK and Ireland club. Ford from America. Prescott still can't quite shake off Lurkey, Alex. Just 2 seconds between them.
Yeah, it's enough of a gap that Prescott can just sort of worry about his own race at this point. Won't be looking in the mirrors too much, just be focused on what's ahead of him, making sure he gets through the traffic cleanly, but...
He's doing good lap times.
Yeah, he's certainly got nothing for... he's got nothing for the leader.
That's his fastest lap since lap 4 update for Dean, so 1:28.0. So as the fuel's going down, these cars definitely coming to these drivers. Nice cars to drive these, so I've got some brief experience in it. Did the 120 minutes of Thunder a year or so ago, and you know they're very aero dependent. There's a lot of things you can change on the setup in order to get them to your liking. It's like Prescott's done that, but he's got nothing. You're right, he's got nothing for the leader at the moment. He's lapping in. Well, that last time 1:29.0. Prescott gained half a second, but the traffic was playing a part in that. You make a Dean's performance, Alex.
Yeah, good solid performance. Sorry, just navigating a couple of cars cars there. Yeah, good steady performance. Everyone get out of the way.
It's heart in mouth, isn't it, every time you come up to a back marker, it really is.
But
can you imagine if your races were like this?
Oh god.
Grief.
It's bad enough as it is. Let alone
You already get Simpson.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if that was to happen, if you had to pass about 20-30 cars a race, goodness. Looks like Downing and Ford having a battle, Alex, for 8th place. Nose to tail. So let's see if the American can make a move on Downing. We've seen a lot of passing, haven't we, today down into the main, down into turn 1, centre S's.
I think that's the main place. Everything was going to happen as well. You've got sort of off the straight after that as well, but that more seems to be just with the braking zone there. It's more causing people to make a mistake.
Tough one, isn't it? It's one of those braking areas that you think you can steal an extra few metres, and sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. You know, you're very late braking into that corner. The way it's cambered really helps, doesn't it?
Ford was quite a bit quicker the last time round, and it looks like Downing's got some front left damage on that Riley, so that's perhaps affecting him.
He had that incident, didn't he, earlier on with Eggleston, so I wonder if that was... In fact, yeah, that was where he tapped him, wasn't it? It was that front left corner where he tapped Eggleston, so as they lap the McLaren...
Yeah, both guys going to squeeze through, they do.
Doing a good job of getting through there, good job by getting out of the way for the McLaren driver.
Yeah, model that way of how to let a faster car go. Just stick on your line. Don't move, don't weave, don't do nothing. Let them get by you. They've got the pace to do it, so let them do it.
Yeah, that's Jean-Pascal Marot, who's in 4th place in class, so having a good run. 2 laps down. Still 9 Rileys on the lead lap.
It's very easy actually for newcomers to think, right, I've got to shuffle off the racing line and things like that, and they do a last minute move to the left and it just ends in carnage. So yeah, anybody new looking to get into the series, that's how you let the faster cars go. Just stick to your line and let them slide up the inside.
Yeah, they do say, don't they, that the best way to do it is if you're in the slower class, you hold your line, let them go through past you and let them pick the opportunity. A helpful lift every now and again helps, I think, so, but as now something's happened to Ritzy as Venter's through into 4th, and Ritzy's about 15 seconds behind him. We didn't see that on the camera, so something happened a couple of laps ago. I'll just wind back and see. Oh, it's a spin coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, it's cost him big time. Venter always the Mr. Consistent.
Maybe tried to get too much curb. I don't know why it took him so long to spin the car around, though. Taking him a long time to get going again. That's very strange. If he couldn't find a gear or what, but yeah, he lost a lot more time than he should have done in that occasion. Ritzy, no damage on that car.
Let's just check in with the leaders, see how they're doing on.
Yeah, Gwyn's still motoring along, although 7/10 slower than Dean Prescott on that previous lap. It's hard to get a read on the pace, isn't it, with the traffic?
That's the problem. It's the traffic. I think when you're within about half a second a lap of a car in front, pace-wise, once you get to this stage of the race, you can make time up on them through the traffic.
Yeah, Prescott in
it's
clear
not
air
necessarily about the out-and-out pace.
Dean's had a few laps of clear air, and he's really making it count, isn't he? So at the moment, mid-28s for Prescott. I don't think that's going to allow him to beat Gwyn today. I think there's not enough time left, but I think he'll be really happy with 2nd place still. Good performance, as you said.
Yeah, how long have we got left on the clock at this point then?
Just over, well, probably just over 10 minutes probably. I don't know when the elapsed time will start from the gridding time, won't it? And that was about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. So yeah, we've got about 10-11 minutes to go.
We'll have to look, see if we can sort that out next time, or give an indication of how many laps are going to be complete, so we know.
About 8 or 9 laps to go, I think. So
as Prescott's coming up to a couple of McLarens here.
Gets out of the way down the back straight, so it's going to be easy into turn 4.
Yeah, Dean thinks best of trying anything there. Although he doesn't, he slips up the inside. I'm not sure what that was about, Dean. That was silly move.
Have a look.
Okay, I'm not really sure why he did that.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
Big mistake on his part, I think.
Yeah, there was no room there for a pass. And unfortunately Dean tried to go for the gap that wasn't there. Now he's lost 2nd place through that. Can he keep going to the end? I mean, how's the car look?
Yeah, we're certainly some damage on the front end. Let's have a look.
He might be able to stay in front of Venter.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage on the front of that.
I think he's going to be okay for a top 4, but Venter might be on the podium here, Alex. Be very happy with him.
So Venter's drove a solid race, so
I don't think he'll be happy with seeing it come at the expense of his teammate, though. But I think Prescott, I think he thought that the McLaren was going wide.
And he's actually dropped. He's coming into the pits as well. I'm wondering if he's got meatball. That's not the food type, the flag type.
Oh, the black and orange flag. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and Venter's coming through, so he's going to pick up 3rd place.
Now, Is there a fast tour in this series? I'm not familiar. I doubt there would be.
No, not once you're out of rookie, that's it, isn't it?
So probably optional, required repairs for Prescott then. That's going to push him way down. He'll be looking to finish in the top 10.
Yeah, he's still in the pits now.
With that, so
it's late on in the race as well. 6 places down.
Yeah, I mean, we said he was running a calm, patient race, but that seems to go out the window there. I mean, I can understand trying to get through the traffic quickly. I'll be honest. No, Dean very well, but I'll be honest, there was no gap there, was there?
No, I have to say,
not a big enough one for how fast he was going, anyway.
No, totally Dean's fault there, I'm afraid. As his team principal, I'll kick him later.
That's allowed Venter to go up into third, and he's going to be absolutely delighted if he can keep going. His main challenger made a mistake, and that means that, well, I'm not going to jinx anything, hopefully, because Venter still has 6-7 minutes to go. Looking back down the field, Ford got past Downing, and he's now 5 seconds ahead of him, so much greater pace than him. Santiago's driven a solid race in 7th, Winston 6th, not really seen anything of those, although Winston's actually catching Ritzy, he's only 4 seconds in front of him, so... Oh, Dean's back out, so Prescott rejoins. He'll have only lost 1 lap there, I think, won't he?
Yeah, it looks like just a single lap. What's happening with the McLaren order at the moment?
Johan Lespinas is literally in a league of his own. He's the only man 1 lap down in the entire field. So his closest challenger is nearly a lap behind. Eduardo Pereiras is in 2nd place in that class. He started 28th and 2nd last today. And he's going to come out with a 2nd in class. So I mean that's what you want to do, isn't it? John Baker in 3rd. Oh, as Pereiras nearly spins, actually coming through turn 4. Got enough space behind him. I mean, his nearest challenger's coming just into turn 1 now, and that's John Baker. So
we've got Marek down in 4th. He's just coming down into turn 1 now as well. So it's McLaren field very spread apart.
And Antti Piala actually got involved in that first corner on the first lap. Not even the first lap incident. Call it the green flag incident. He's actually up to 5th in class and only 3 laps down. He's still got, and he's lapping 3 seconds quicker than Maro, so might be able to get him before the end, you know. Might be 4th place in it for Piala. And 3 seconds quicker than Baker. I don't think he's going to catch Baker, but I think he'll be delighted with 4th after he was, well, he was nearly last after the first lap. As Gwyn going along his merry way, he's got a bit of traffic in front of him. 2 cars again. 1 goes left, 1 goes right. That's a nightmare for anybody. And he's got Downing in front of him, who should get out of the way. Got to be so careful though when you're the leader, as we saw with Prescott. You know, you can't take any risks that are going to damage your position. Prescott's come out in 9th, and he's a whole 2 or 3 corners behind Downing. So he only lost about 90 seconds though, which is enough, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, ruined his chance for podium.
Yeah, and he's not going to finish in the top 5. He's not even going to finish in the top 8 at the moment. Well, he's got fresh tyres. That's about all he's got at the minute. He might still have a damaged car.
Yeah, it wasn't quick the last time round, so he's still suffering out there.
It was his outlap, I think, though. So we'll see. We'll see what he does this time. Right? Yeah, it looks like the car's not tracking properly at the rear. He didn't have to go for the risk though, did he? He didn't have to. I mean, I know there was a guy 2 seconds behind him, and I get that. Well, we'll see. Maybe He'll tell us after the race.
Yeah, just for anybody tuning in and watching us back from the GrandAM series. Obviously, this is new. You probably didn't even know we were going to do it or whatnot, but we will be doing this time slot hopefully for the rest of the season. So, you know,
Yeah, we will
feel
try.
free to jump in. We'll be covering the top split if it splits. Also, feel free to come and join us at the end of a race, and we'll do a couple of post-race interviews as well. So, get in contact with Dean. Let us know your team names, all that kind of stuff, and we'll get them all added to the overlay and everything for you. And we'll got a couple of tweaks to do just to make it a bit more multi-class compliant, which we'll do for next week.
Yeah, we'll make this. Like I say, we'll try and get to know the drivers and the teams. And hopefully, the same drivers can race every week, and that'll be nice to see. Having a look at Conrad Venter in 3rd place.
Yeah, well, it's all quieting down at the moment. Just want to thank our sponsors. It's GT Omega Racing, as you've seen on the Apex cars, AC Sim Equipment, and SimGarage.com. If you're after a button box, go check SimGarage out. If you're after a racing rig, GT Omega. Oh, there's a collision behind Conrad. Someone's in the wall. Let's get the sponsorship sign out of the way.
Marot and Anti-Piala, so I think they were battling for position, weren't they? Marot went wide, and he rejoined the track, and there's nothing. Oh dear me, there's nothing Piala could do. Massive crash there, as we're probably approaching the white flag very soon.
Yeah, I just want to have a quick see if I can catch that back actually on replay.
As 50 minutes have elapsed, but that's not race time. That's since the time that the gridding began. So 1 or 2 laps to go here. We are sorry about this. We don't have any way of determining the actual flags or anything at the moment. Alex might get the white flag, but it might come as a surprise to you.
More than likely. Usually does with these timed and multi-class races.
What did you make of that incident?
Yeah, like you said, he just got a little bit wide, come back on the track. It was actually no contact, it was a netcode collision, but
I think that AstroTurf didn't help him, did it?
No, I think even if there hadn't have been netcode, he'd have come over and hit him anyway, so yeah, perhaps just a bit desperate to get back on the track to defend. He should have just conceded the position there. And everybody can judge, that's the trouble.
As usual in a mixed class race, a lot of accidents, but one man has sort of risen above all that, and it's Sheen Nguyen, and he's coming around to complete lap 33. He's not slowing down though at all. His last lap was a 28.0. Still pushing hard. There's no way he needs to push as hard as that now.
Yeah, no, at all. And I'm still not seeing the white flag on my screen, so
Still going round for another lap at full speed, so he obviously hasn't seen it either. This could well be his last lap though.
with that little
Oh,
collision.
there's a McLaren coming out. Oh, not too far in front of the leader.
So I'd say with that collision as well, I think that was the last of our battles done for the race. Get out of the way, leader coming through.
Oh dear me, and again trying to twitch offline and just let him through. At this point in the race, you just give him the space. Well, Lurky's in second, he's driven well actually, apart from the one mistake. As Gwyn nearly loses it in the middle sector. Venter third, Ritzy in fourth. Winston fifth, very quiet race again for him and Santiago, but fifth and sixth for them. Kevin Ford seventh. Derek Down in eighth. Dean Prescott ninth, a lap down after that collision. He'll be ruining that. Any white flag action yet?
I'm not seeing anything. Lap 34.
Surely this is going to be it. Either this time by or next time by.
Here we go, white flag's out, so I think as he
Win
crosses
comes
the
over
line,
finish line.
this is it.
And Sheen Nguyen takes the win at Interlagos. Brilliant performance. He won by 27 seconds. He wiped the floor with everyone today. You going on another lap?
And we've got
No, he's just cruising around.
Mika coming across for second place in class.
He's going to be very happy with that.
He had a good battle with Dean, but comes out on top.
Started second, finished second. I think he'll take that every time out.
Conrad Venter coming across for third place. He'll be delighted with that.
South African drove exceptionally well. Started fourth, finished fourth, solid all the way through. Didn't make any mistakes.
Johann's crossed the line as well. So's Eduardo.
Yeah, Johan Lespinas taking the win in the McLaren class. Ritzy coming across for fourth in DP. Yeah, good job there. Maro's going to get third in the McLaren class despite that incident at the end. Piala will recover actually just behind him in a battered car to finish in fourth. Andy Pers will be fifth after being assaulted by Prescott. We've got Santiago coming across sixth in the Rileys, and he's just ahead of Ford in seventh. So that looks like that's that. So some good action today, Alex. Enjoyable race.
Yeah, good little race. Still we still haven't got the track information on the overlay service, so we'll get that updated as well. Lots to do. And as some cars have left the session already, the results are all out of whack, so we'll have to run through and manual for you. We've got a couple of drivers. I think Dean was going to have a quick interview, so just going to take a very, very quick break, and then we'll be back with his interview.
Fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Travers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 in the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing
Welcome back to Aero TV. We're got Dean Prescott up in the commentary booth with us. Welcome up here, Dean. Tell us a little bit about your race, but more specifically, trying to go for that gap that was never there.
That gap that was never there seemed to open and then close straight away. I might just add that. No, it was weren't too bad actually. Not done much practice this week actually. First race that I did was on Wednesday, I think, and I come away with a win. And then had another one yesterday, so not very much practice. Trying a new setup for that race as well. Showed it with Conrad just before, and it showed it's got some good pace with Conrad finishing third.
I mean, you both did extremely well today. I mean, your pace was very good. Just take us through that incident then from your point of view, and tell us what your view on that.
Well, I was just actually chatting to Conrad then just after, and he was saying the exact same thing. There's a few drivers that seems to think that they have the right to open and close doors, mainly on the back straight, where it switches around from the left-hander to the right-hander. But no, it seemed to open, and that is a perfectly good passing place for people to open the door to let you through, but for whatever reason he opened it and then closed it straight away, so nothing I could do. Slammed on the anchors, slammed into him.
Yeah, it was strange because from where obviously we were looking at it, it looked as if I don't know, it just looked as if you got your braking all sorts of wrong. I didn't realise that you thought there was a gap there. I mean, we give you a bit of a hard time about it, I have to say, because it looked as if you were never in a position to get past. But it's tricky, I guess, to see. Obviously, not driving the series and that, and we were saying it's with the cars not being a great difference in straight line speed, unlike when we used to sort of run the HPD and the like the Corvette and the GT40. It's not so easy just to slip past either, is it? So you've got to really calculate your moves.
Yeah, you do, and like I said, that where you thought I was probably, what were you thinking of, braking early or too late?
We thought you were just a bit late.
It looked like you went in a bit quick for the gap that was there, which, I mean, there was something that you could probably call a gap, but I think it was, I don't know. He was trying to take it. He just looked like he was taking his line, which I suppose came too late for you. I mean, I know from driving that car in the past that things do happen very quickly, and lapped cars do come up on quicker than you think sometimes, especially in the corners like that. So,
if anything, I actually
tough one.
Stuck the brakes on earlier, anticipating that I could get up the inside of him. So, with the DP, I don't know if you saw very many people, but there's quite a big bump on the inside of that curb. Well, the DP rides it pretty well, so.
Or maybe the McLaren doesn't. Then maybe that was what happened. We did see a lot of crashes actually. We saw a big pile up in the McLarens at the start of the race, which I think made the traffic quite a bit worse for you guys. How is it? I mean, it works both ways, doesn't it? You've got to plan your moves, and the guys in the McLarens have to plan how they're going to let you through, and sometimes it doesn't quite go right. I mean, what's your view on that?
Yeah, usually you do get the odd one where they will just pull over to the left hand side or the right hand side and just say go on through. But mainly, I don't know whereabouts you're up to on the replay, but just after where I had the incident, that left-hander, that little back straight, everybody seems to follow the natural line, even if you're on the left-hand side of them. So you have to be wary of that and cut back up to the inside.
Yeah, I think always. I mean, we have a unique position with iRacing's that we can communicate with each other. So, you know, it's best if the guys, you know, they've got a microphone and they use it and they say, yeah, up the inside, you know, or next corner or whatever. You know, that's we see that a lot more in the big World Tour events. You know, people chatting a lot on the mic, you know, saying when to go through and stuff, and not so much in the season championships. And I think it's something the guys really should start doing a lot more of.
Well, people were chatting in that one, but they were taking it to the extreme of just having full-blown conversations. So I hopped on the mic actually and said, just shut up a sec, guys, trying to race here.
Yeah.
There was a bit of needle going on, I must admit, from one guy in particular wasn't happy with the driving standard. But anyway, looking forward to the rest of the weekend. Are you going to be doing any more races before the week switches over on Monday?
Well, I've not seen the damage of this race yet, but I've still got one race left, so I probably will throw one in somewhere.
Excellent. Well done today, anyway, mate. I know it was, there was one. Apart from one moment, it was a good drive. So take that forward to the next race and hopefully stay out of trouble.
Cheers, guys.
Mate. Very disappointed, Dean Prescott there, and I don't blame him really. I mean, the mistake was very, very costly, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, these things happen. You know, it's very easy for us sitting there to say that there was no gap and things like that. It's a very, very different thing when you're sat behind the wheel and cars are taking different lines. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm sure he'll give us some stick later off mic as well.
Probably. Wasn't my fault. No, it was a good race though, enjoyable. Win was excellent, wasn't it? I mean, he won by 30 seconds.
Yeah, just smashed that race really.
And I think
as did Johan as well, just in the GT class. So just blew him away.
Johan, if anything, was more impressive because he he won by nearly a lap, and that's very, very tough to do, even in definitely in a mixed class race anyway, even in an open setup series. But he was helped slightly by half the field getting wiped out at the beginning. I don't really know what happened. I mean, is it possible for you to take us back and have a look at that, or?
I'm afraid, really, for time constraints, we're not going to be able to, because we're 6
well.
minutes away from switching up to the Road to Pro series, so we have to vacate the channel and get the other teams up here and whatnot. But hopefully, like I say, we'll get a few more people in for interview next week, and we'll try and sort of roll from one to the other. It's
been a very enjoyable race, actually, and a good experience, Alex. So thanks for asking me to commentate this with you. I'm sure we'll be back soon. We're going to try and be back next week.
Yeah, next week we're going to try and make this a regular time slot. So hopefully all the guys, if you're around, turn up for this race. Let's get some good splits going, and let's get an entertaining series that we can track every week on here. So be nice.
Cool. Excellent. Well, from all of us here at ARL TV, we're going to say goodbye now from the GrandAM series, but if you stay tuned to this channel, then we've got Race to Pro coming right up. Enjoy.
I can tell you about iRacing's precision-engineered cars. I can tell you about iRacing's authentically detailed tracks. I can tell you about iRacing's incredibly satisfying physics.
But what I can't tell you is what it's like to be part of this.
Take your hobby to the next level with a quality racing rig that works great with a PS3, Xbox 360, and a PC. GT Omega Racing Simulator is compatible with a wide range of steering wheels, including Logitech, Fanatic, Thrustmaster, and more. The GT Omega is available now worldwide by going to www.gtomegaracing.com.